So whatever arises, because it's going to rise, in the flow it's going to rise. And whatever arises, let it rise into awareness. And whatsoever enters awareness that is not true will dissolve and disappear. And what remains is what's true, and that will deepen. We're complicating sex too much. So, out of that then, I pose the question, when is sex true? I get all kinds of wonderful romantic sounding ideas and spiritual ideas and metaphysical ideas and esoteric ideas. But what it really boils down to, sex is true when it is just sex. This entire universe is sex. Now, just sex is pretty big. But when it's sex and something else, it's not true. When sex is sex plus something, then it's a means to an end. There's a principle that says means and ends are the same. The action and the outcome are one. Sex plus something renders sex a currency. So it becomes a currency with which we negotiate. And we negotiate our comfortable compromises. So sex is true when it's just sex. When it's sex plus comfort, or when it's sex plus anything else, it's no longer just sex. It doesn't make it wrong, but it's not true sex. True sex is free. It's free of identification. It's liberated. And true sex will get you to the glow. And then you can live in that glow. When we're in identification, there's no possibility of true sex, because all sex then is invariably some form of release of tension. And the tension we're releasing is the tension of our refusal to be love's presence. Any comments or questions?
Just love your language. It's refreshing to have a new language. And coming here, for me, one of the problems is the whole tantric wording. I just have a problem with it, because it's just, what does it mean? I think the way you've described it, it just brings it back into the real. Just brings it back into the present. Doesn't make it something else. I really take that.
That's the aim. See, it's when in the recognition that that's what's required to, so Samadhi, my partner, and Samadhi and I connected with Shakti because and I started to sort of just reach out into, there are not many people in this country who are doing any of this kind of work. And I started sort of just connecting in and saying, okay, what are you experiencing? Are you experiencing people coming to you easily? What is my take on this true? So that we can actually start to network and just open the whole field of sex and sexuality up more. And that's what I was intending and am still intending with regard to true sex, is just to bridge the worlds. Just to create a bridge that people can actually reach more deeply and come to Tantra practitioners or whatever, because I'm don't really have any interest in being a Tantra practitioner myself. So but I know the value of the work that you do, but you're just not getting the people who most need to do the work as the majority. Because they come to you and they're just really not ready.
Well, that's my own journey, because I'm actually not interested in being a Tantra practitioner. I'm interested in awareness and bridging people to their awareness. But as you said, the sexual aspect is somehow it cannot be avoided. It's the root, as you've so nicely described. And that's why for me what's happening here is to be able to work with those different people's strengths and just create that flow, as you're saying, in
Yeah.
your work or whatever you're doing.
Thank you.
You said something earlier about using contrast in your workshops to give a direct experience of awareness.
To create awareness.
So, to create a yeah. So I just wondered how, if you could give an example of how you use contrast to do that in your work.
Through the experience, what you experienced, because you experienced the work, was I created a contrast between who you are and who you think you are. In the experience of that contrast, you gain the perspective of that awareness. And then, of course, with that awareness comes the responsibility and the knowledge of that awareness and the responsibility and the integrity of that realization.
Okay, so you're still using that format that I...
No, not entirely, but I'm still working with creating. You have to create contrast in order for awareness to come about. The only way really to create an awareness in you of who you are and who you think you are. As I bring, you see, most people live in the world and you live as who you think you are. I don't get too metaphysical about it. I say, well, who do I think I am? Who I think I am is Stephen Norval. When I fill in forms in the world, etc., and they ask me, who are you? That's what I write down. Because that's what I was told I am, and I've thought that's who I am ever since. So that's who I think I am. And guess what? That's ego. So I've got a name for my ego, Stephen Norval. And there's no escaping it. So when you come into, so what I will do in the work is at this level at which the question is rising now, is I will create an awareness in you of who you think you are. And when you see the true nature of who you think you are, you're horrified. And who is horrified? Well, that's who you are. And so now you begin to experience a contrast. So I'll take a couple of days exploring the world of who you think you are, commonly known as hell. And then I'll take a couple of days and explore the world of who you are, commonly known as heaven. And then you have your choice. It's not right or wrong which you choose. But if you want to live in heaven, then the only place you can do it is right here, and the only one who can know it is who you are, because who you think you are exists nowhere else other than in your own head, in your own imagination. And the deepest alienation and the deepest loneliness of that is that every person that who you think you are, when you're rooted in who you think you are, and you haven't released that identification or gained at least the awareness through contrast, is that every single person you love, you're loving who you think they are. But it's not who you are who thinks, it's who you're actually loving who you think you think you are thinks they are. And so you've got two non-existential things attempting to love each other and have an experience of love, whilst who we are is pining, is suffering the unconsciousness of that. And so all of our relationship is no such thing. It's all relationship, because it's all who I think I am relating with who I think you are. But it's not who I think you are, it's who I think I am thinks you are. And now we've got to find a way to get these two to meet. And meanwhile, there's who you are and who I am, and we're not getting seen at all. It's insane. It's schizophrenic.